Alright, hello everybody. Um, Today we're having a gardening class, which it's nice to be able to do. Because as you can see, it is a beautiful day. The skies are blue. I don't know how well you can see that. Let me adjust a little bit. But yeah, oh, nice and blue, just like the house. And we actually get to get outside. I get to get outside, and I can kind of breathe and stay healthy. And that's the main reason I haven't been going outside as much, just because the air quality. I watch those indexes and make sure that that I'm safe, that my dog's safe, that we're all safe. That people that I know, because some people dare to go outside when the air quality is horrible. But today the air quality is great, and so a gardening class seemed like a perfect thing to do. But as things go, especially when it comes to plants, things get overgrown if you let them get overgrown. So we have here our fuchsia plant. And I call it our fuchsia plant because that's how I feel. Once you all have your own place, or a place where you can plant your own plants, when you can plant your own vegetables, where you can beautify your yard the way you want it to be beautified, you have the skills to do it. And I want to make sure that those skills are utilized. And so this is why it's important to have these gardening classes, because at some point you really will have the chance to, make some really wonderful changes to an environment with beautiful colors, annuals, semi-annuals, perennials. It's all fun stuff. But again, as things go, when you let them go, things get overgrown, and this is all overgrown. Our beautiful fuchsia plant is being drowned out by these grasses. So today for gardening class, I'm going to show you. Oops. Okay. It's the wind. It's gonna give me a shock. We're gonna actually help the fuchsia by getting rid of these grasses, so that they're not competing. Because what's happening right now is they're competing for water. They're competing for things. And the fuchsia is but one plant. It's beautiful, but it's losing. We also have columbine here, which is a great plant as a forward drop actually for the fuchsia. But these grasses are just going to try to take over everything. So, in order to save our plant, we want to make sure that we give it a chance and really let it shine as the beautiful fuchsia that it is. And on a beautiful day, gotta take advantage of these days. First things first, though, I'm going to show off my new gloves. I got new gloves, which I like because I tend to wear jewelry, and I also have a watch. So I got new gloves because I noticed in my last gardening videos that the fingers in the gloves, even this one's starting to get worn down, were not as effective as they were. But this also covers up my arm, so it'll cover up my jewelry or my self-decoration, and it will also cover up my watch so I don't get dirt on that. I'm going to readjust the camera as I do this. So I've got my gloves on, personal protective equipment. We're good to go. Sounds like somebody's over there on the highway. But I'm going to pull the camera down just a little bit so you can see the process as I go through. Okay. Again, this is columbine. We want to keep this. This is good. It's these grasses that we want to get rid of. This is our fuchsia. My main thing, and I have my shovel here, my main thing that I want to do is make sure that I don't actually hit any part of the fuchsia. So I want to find exactly where the fuchsia is located. But I can already notice right here, this is grass. So I can just pop it out real fast and get rid of that chunk of grass. And I know that that's grass. Goodbye, grass. And I want to get rid of, and again, I want to save this, and unfortunately, you kind of have to wrangle it. And I don't want to hurt anything as much as possible, but at the same time, you know, you got to do what's got to be done. So more grass gone. Now, have I found where my fuchsia is exactly? The good thing is that when we planted it the first time, I actually put rocks around it so that I could tell where it's going to be. And luckily, this is in a really shaded spot in the yard. Otherwise, I think this would be a lot more dried out. And dry dirt is much more difficult to work with. Oh, that's one of the rocks. Okay, so that's good. That should stay there. But dry dirt is a lot more difficult to work with than, say, well, you don't want to work in mud. That becomes even more difficult. But these really come out easy. Oh, wait. I'm going a little too fast, see? Because this is columbine, which I want to keep. So now what I got to do is separate out the grass from the columbine. I think maybe, let me tilt the camera just a little, because we don't need it to be that far down. But the columbine, you can see, has different roots or different stems. They're much thicker than the grass. But still, you have to separate them out and kind of figure out which one is which. Because again, we don't want to hurt anything. And the root of the columbine it's become wooden. So it's woody, which is good. Easy for me to tell. But these grasses, they want all that water. Just like the columbine wants it, just like the fuchsia wants it. They will compete together in order to get it. So it's our job to take care of the one that we want to stay. Now, I am not being very nice to this columbine, but neither is the grass. So you're gonna have to bear with me, columbine. I'm gonna prop you up a little bit more so you know I'm not mad at you. I'm just trying to help you. And there's lots of different stuff in here. Like I said, things get overgrown so quickly. It's kind of amazing. Which is nature in all its gloriousness. But at the same time, we still need to make sure that we're doing our job to cultivate. And a lot of these, and I'll go over this just a little bit, but grasses, there's a lot of grasses in California. I mean, there's a lot of grasses everywhere. I'm from Utah, as you know, and the thing is that Utah, they really like their grass. And most of it's non-native. And a lot of times when, especially with grasses, if they're non-native, what happens is they're also invasive, so they'll take over. You introduce a new species, and they'll be like, oh boy, like, I've never had this before. And they'll just overtake everything. So some people, what they'll do is they'll compete with the grass, like I'm doing right now. Other people will just say, you know what, I'm just going to mow it. That's why they call Utah the land, or at least I think it was Jack Kerouac, famous author, who called Salt Lake City the land of 1,000 sprinklers. Now look, we're losing a lot of these. Let's go with that. Look how beautiful that is. And it's lost because I haven't done my job. And I feel bad. There's a lot of these that have fallen off. But I have more, and more will happen. Again, We work with what we have, and we work hard to make sure that we keep with what we want. And you always want to dig underneath. Try to get as much out at one time as you can. So this one, yeah, that makes it a lot faster. The process not as difficult. Again, yeah. All of this is stuff that we don't do, but we want to save as much of this one and be gentle with it as possible. So it's interesting to be so seemingly cruel to some and so kind to others. But in order for things to survive, you have to. Every good gardener knows there's certain things you have to do, and you have to be willing to do it. If this was a little bit wetter, this would not be such a difficult process. But right now, it is. And here's the thing, right now, and I'll show you different. I'm just tearing the heads off of these, which is the fast way of doing things. What you want is that. All those roots, you don't want those, you want to get rid of those so they don't grow back. Because the moment they grow back, they grow back strong. You get rid of the roots, though, it's harder for them to grow back. And what I want is the root for this fuchsia to be strong. But again, I gotta be very careful with that. Whoa. Things falling all around. And again, you want to get underneath with your trowel and really dig up. Get all around in there. It's actually kind of frightening. A lot of this is amazing how it grows. And it tries to attach itself to everything. As you see, it's trying to grow up here. Right. This is an onion. And you can, I think it's garlic onion, but it wants to take that over too. Like, if it could get into this pot right here, these weeds would. They like to be where they're not supposed to be. But really, it's just this evolution. It's just growing. Things just want to grow. But if we let everything overgrow, we would lose a lot. And there we go. That's and now we can really start to see the development. And I really feel bad for this columbine here. Hopefully, once I water it, give it a little more energy, it won't look so sad. Right now, it's kind of sad. Again, if it weren't for this weather, this would have been taken care of quite some time ago. There you go. That is a big root structure. I like to keep the soil though. If you remember from the first class, I put a lot of work into the soil. There we go. On this side, now it's pretty much cleaned out. So we're good here. I'm going to switch over to here, and hopefully you'll be able to see it. You can always adjust the camera. I just hope it doesn't turn off. Okay, but now I'm going to angle this down just a little. Now we're just going to take out this last little bit. That's it. And you want to be careful as you're doing this, because grass has seeds. What happens is when those seeds get airborne, they land in different parts of the soil. And as they land there, they overtake that area. So, life is a powerful thing, and it's to be respected. And it's various forms. We, as humans, are top of the food chain. Yeah, we want to get rid of this. If this plant, like this fuchsia, it can't fight back. Against these grasses. It takes a gardener. And we can all be gardeners. There we go. We are almost completely done. But I want to get as much of it out of the way as possible. Going through the middle of the rock. I have to be very careful here because fuchsia is right there. I don't want to damage the fuchsia any more than I already have. It will continue to grow, just like this columbine. It will come back. That much I know. But since I haven't worked on it in so long, I'm going to have a tougher time. So I'm going to make sure I keep these rocks around it. Make sure the next time I come out here, things will be good. Alright. We've got everything pretty much cleared out. Now, this is our... Let me angle this. Move this stuff out of the way real fast. Okay. Now this now, let me angle it down again. This now is our fuchsia and our columbine. And if you just go back to the beginning of the video, you'll see what a change was made. Just in the, however long this video was. But, they've been affected by it. So the next thing we need to do is we need to water. So I'm going to throw my trowel down. And I am going to get the hose. Now what we do is we give this a nice drink. But I want to water everything around here. Keep the soil happy. Get this columbine feeling good. That looks much nicer. everything is much happier. We lost pretty much all the flowers, which is too bad, but such is weather. But this should grow to be a good tall, so, I will take pictures and continue to develop it as we go. But this has been our gardening class for today. Hopefully I didn't get any water on the camera here. And I want you to know, I miss you all. I hope you take some of these techniques and use them. If you ever have any questions, always feel free to ask. But I miss you. We can always make life more beautiful. It's a good thing. Alright. Ciao for now.